This is Growing Your Firm, the podcast for ambitious accountants and firm owners who want to work smarter, grow faster, and lead better. Hey, Growing Your Firm community, David here. Really excited to be dropping some recordings from our prior Growing Your Firm Summit. We had over 600 people register for it. It was in December last year. We're doing another one this year, but we thought, wow, there was such great content. Let's share it with the Growing Your Firm community. So this is a special content drop of some of the sessions from the Growing Your Firm Summit. Enjoy. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I am so excited for this lightning talk, and we're going to dive in. I'm going to give an intro here in just a second. But first, Keila, how are you?
I am doing great. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, I told you I usually ask, we were chatting right before we hit the, record button, the start button. I always ask people where they're calling in from, but now I know where you're calling in from. So I needed a new question. I couldn't think of a new question. So here's my question.
Cool.
Decaf coffee, yay or nay? Where do you land on decaf?
So before like 3 months ago, I would have said nay, but we have a Nespresso and they are making a lot of good decaf Nespressos. And so, yeah.
Oh, all right. I might have to look into Nespresso because I made I do caffeine in the morning, decaf in the afternoon. And there's like
Um,
one flavor that I feel like of decaf. And I'm like, sometimes I want something else. So that's good to
yeah.
know. Good to know. All right. So all the things you get to learn by attending the Growing Your Firm Summit. So all right. So what I want to talk about, so this talk's gonna be really great because we're gonna talk about how growth doesn't have to come at the cost of connection. And no one proves that better than Keila. She's here to share how to scale your firm while keeping that boutique, high touch feel clients love. And get this, she never even planned to be an entrepreneur, but she's one of the most successful ones in her niche. So let's unpack what that looks like, what that means, and some of the skill sets and systems that she's used. Welcome, Keila.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here. I am going to share my slides so that we can get started. Well, I think I'm going to share my slides. One second.
There they are. Yep, I got them.
Yay. All right. So let's talk about scaling. So I want to share what's worked for me to grow my firm. We use technology a lot, but we wanted to make sure that it still felt personal to our clients, that it is easy to work with and for us, that it just like feels good to work with us as accountants. So my goal today is to show you how you can scale your firm without that experience falling flat as you get bigger. And we are going to start with a core idea. One. Y'all would think I'd never been on Zoom before. Okay. Can you see the next slide? Yes.
Yep.
Cool. All right. So, a little bit about me. I built a fully virtual boutique firm. So, it has always been virtual. We've never gone in person. And one of my goals was to build to enough, to not get big, just chasing growth for the sake of chasing growth, but really wanting to keep the right size team for the right number of clients while maintaining a firm that felt high touch, white glove client experience is really the number one thing that we focus on. So, I had to do a couple of things. I wanted to design systems that blend warmth and efficiency. It's got to, again, feel good, but it has to work well too. And I don't want my team to burn out. The hardest thing that you all know to do is to hire people. And so I need the people that are good and are with us to stay. The second thing was I needed to create a signature communication and workflow framework that we could use across all of our clients. Typically, we handle about 70 clients per year, and I needed to make sure that it felt just as good for them when I had a small amount of clients, say 10 or 20, as when we got bigger, that they weren't losing some of that in pursuit of our growth. And just overall, I'm committed to helping firm owners grow sustainably. Like, I want to make sure that when we start looking at, hey, we're taking more clients or we're getting bigger as a team or as a revenue size, we're not sacrificing the personal touch because that is the point of what we do. That's what sets us apart. And so we want to make sure that it still feels like that for both the team and our clients. So there is a myth that growth automatically means losing the personal feel. And I think in a lot of firms, that's just expected, right? Like there is this idea that we will just have too many clients to be able to give them all this attention. But I don't think that you have to water down the client experience just because you get bigger. It really is about intentionally and choosing when to use technology and when to invest energy and time. So the whole idea is that technology, AI, systems, processes really free you up to be more human human with the client, not replacing the idea that you are really their accountability partner, sometimes their therapist, their expert, that you're standing in as this professional that's there to support them. And you've got systems and processes and tech behind you to be able to do that. But that shouldn't be where your firm leads from. And let's talk about what clients actually want to see. So, it is more than just about doing the accounting. Anybody could do their books, really. Not everybody can do it well, but they could find an accountant just to do that, right? Somebody else could do their taxes. What clients want in a boutique firm is something that feels personal, consistent, supportive. They want to feel seen and not like a number or task that you're just checking off of your to do list. I don't know about you, but the number one complaint that we get when people are looking to switch from their accountants to us is that their current accountant doesn't answer their emails, doesn't answer their questions fast enough, and they just feel like a cog in the wheel. They don't really feel like they're being listened to or feeling appreciated as the special snowflakes that all clients want to feel like they are. And overall, they want clarity and consistency. So when you have those right systems in place, you get to protect your energy because we can't burn ourselves out trying to serve other people. But you also want to make sure that the experience feels both personal and really top of mind, reliable. You want to feel like you can execute this on a regular basis, that it is not a one time Christmas present that you're there from them and then you're going to disappear for the rest of the year. And then also, those systems become your best friend. They're protecting your energy, they're protecting your boundaries, they're allowing you to show up when you need to show up and fall back when you need to fall back. So let's talk about what is actually the tension. A lot of firm owners are like, yeah, that sounds good. Personal boutique experience. But that is going to say, take so much more in terms of people. Because now I need more people on the team so they can manage every single client and every single process closely. And I'm going to have to hire and get bigger. More time. So it's more hours that we're spending hand holding, making sure that everybody's getting what they need in a timely fashion, like right now. More effort. So you want to keep, or people feel like you have to keep every detail feeling customized, that people are coming in and feeling like, I made this just for you. Nobody else gets this attention. I just want you to feel special here. And more availability. So this idea that you've constantly got to be on call for clients, because the way for you to feel high touch is to just be at every whim that they have for you, whether it's an immediate email response or a call that you've got to answer on the spot. But the reality is, high touch doesn't have to mean heavy lift. Like a personal touch, a personal feel doesn't always have to mean a bigger team, but it does have to be intentional. You have to design the experience well so that you're not working harder. You're letting the systems do the lift for you. And then your job is just to like show up, smile, kiss the babies, shake hands, make sure that they're getting what they need. But you aren't so in the weeds of the entry and the initial stuff that you're missing that relationship that you're trying to build with them is the most important part. So, when we say that high touch doesn't have to be heavy lift, think about what clients mean when they say that they're having a great experience. We know they're not talking about how often you emailed them or how late you stayed up finishing their tax return or their books. What they really care about are these things. Are you trustworthy? Do they know that if you say you're going to do something, you're actually going to do it and things are not going to fall between the cracks? Are you accessible? So it doesn't have to be constant availability, but do they know clear paths to communicate with you, how you're going to receive and disseminate information, and when and where they can call on you when they need you? Proactive. This is a big one. Are you going to get ahead of the things that you already know are coming, but they don't? Can they get updates from you before they wonder what's happening? And before we get into the rest of these, a cheat code is that is beneficial for you too. The faster you can get clients information, the fewer emails you have saying, what's going on with this? Where does this stand? Have you finished this yet? And then finally, informative. They want clear and straightforward guidance with action on what they need to take. I know as accountants, we know a lot. And so we want to share a lot. And we're like, look at all these things that it would affect. But business owners are just like us. They're busy. They've got a lot going on. And they need to know, what are you recommending that I do? Can you just tell me what to do next? Or at least give very clear instructions on why I should pick this over this and vice versa. They want to make sure that they're not getting caught up in a whirlwind of decision fatigue that we are adding to with the things that we do. So let's talk about how I do this. The first way is that we have a client portal. So we have a single organized home for documents, messages, and status updates. Why is that important? Because you all know that when you have 15 different types of tech and email, clients will talk to you in every single way. And so the more we can streamline and say, if you have a question, if you need to give us a document, if we need more details or information from you, it is always going to live here. Not only is the client experience better, your team knows exactly where to look too. And so when you're delegating or hiring new people who are just getting up to speed on clients, having one solid place where they can look to see all communications and anything that has come up is going to get them up to speed faster, and also make a client feel like they're not managing the turnover in your group just because you had to hire someone new. A 48-hour response window. Now, the response is not always, I am going to fix this for you today. Sometimes the response is looking into it. We'll get back to you by Friday. Or we're in the middle of month end close. Not going to be able to finish that for you right now, but this is when we will get it done. You want to have reliable communication so they know when they can expect a response from you. And you want to decouple yourself from this idea that they can call on you at any time. We are open as a regular business at certain hours, and you are going to get something from us within 48 business hours. Automated workflows. So, what kind of reminders and checkpoints are there to make sure that nothing falls between the cracks, both for your team, knowing what they're responsible for, knowing what they should and should not be doing in preparation for a client, but also for clients? How many times have we asked them for things and then you realize 2 weeks too late that they haven't answered you, and that's why you can't move on what you're doing? How can you make sure that they're getting timely reminders that if your work is being held up, you know exactly why, and they do too? AI assisted prep. So, AI is going to be used in multiple different ways in different firms, but when you are getting quick summaries, draft responses, and meeting prep that help us show up more informed, I get to give you all of me when I talk to you, and I'm not focused on how exactly should I say this and how do I take notes. Finally, a clear communication framework. Internally, we have a consistent approach to answering questions. And so the things that we're going to do: answer the question. What did they ask you? And are you answering what they asked you? Why? Why am I recommending that you do it this way or that you not take that course of action? And then finally, clarify what we're doing versus what they need to do. Be very clear if there are next steps from them for them, that they know what those next steps look like. And if there are things that you're going to do, what are you doing? When, and when can they expect an update or completion on that task? So we start with a few signature touch points, and you don't have to reinvent the wheel all at one time. You want to identify 2 or 3 moments to systemize first. What does that mean? So the first thing is, a proposal. How does that process work? From the discovery call to actually getting them in the door, how does that process work? What systems are you using? What questions are you asking that can get you prepared for onboarding? We call it pre-onboarding, getting those details that we need at the beginning to be able to service them once they get in. Before jumping right into doing the work, what does onboarding look like? We have an initial diagnostic that we do with every client. Takes about 3 to 4 weeks to really get in there, ask questions about how they currently do things so that we can take it on with care and they know that they're going to be taken care of. What does a tax return or financial report delivery look like? How do you give proactive status updates, and can those be automated? And how can you and your team be constantly thinking about the here's what's next message? Everything from documents that we're going to be providing to you to upcoming firm closes. How can I always keep you up to speed on what's coming and remind so that you're not having to rely on your latest email in order to know what's going on with us? So I I also am a big proponent of boundaries. They create a better experience. So very quickly, you want to set and communicate response windows. How fast are you going to get back to somebody? Communication channels. Like I said earlier, where should they talk to you and who should they be talking to? Is there a main point of contact that they should be leaning into? Clear scopes. What do we do? What do we not do? What would cost extra if you want us to take care of that for you? And I will keep reminding you what happens next. Here we are. Now, what are we going to do? Remember that boundaries equal reliability. Once those are set in place, people know exactly what to expect from you, and you can consistently deliver an experience that they can like use and expect to keep happening. Finally, these systems that scale the personal touch, really simple structures around intake, client roadmaps to tell your team how they should be working with clients, monthly, quarterly touch points. How do they know where these lines and milestones live so that they know what they can expect from you at those points and what homework they'll have at those same times? Advisory prep. What's all the stuff that we can do so that by the time I'm talking to you, I've got enough background information to show up clearly, to show up with answers that you can actually rely on, and to be able to listen to the things that are coming up for clients. Finally, deadlines and deliverables. When can they expect to get an update on their tax return or to receive their financial reports so that they don't have to ask you all the time, where does it live and when are you going to get back to me? Remember that consistency feels like care. When they know that over and over and over again, they can rely on you to give them what you promised, they can trust you to keep being a client of yours and potentially upgrade down the line. So, last thing I'll say is delegate what's repeatable. So, what you want to do as the firm owner is keep the vision, keep the relationship building, and potentially keep advisory for your clients. Your team should hold preparation, reminders, organization, follow up, all those background tasks that have to be done in order for you to manage that relationship with your client with care. You want to stay where you add the most value and give the rest to an experienced team that can take that off of your plate. Quick wins for the week: refresh your welcome sequence, use AI to prep for recap or client calls, automate one follow up checkpoint, create a standardized email template, or publish your response window. Pick one of these to just go into for the week. It's a fast tweak that's going to make a difference for your team and for your clients, and is a small thing that makes a big difference. Remember, scaling isn't about adding more work to your plate. It is about being more intentional. I hope that you all are able to take that forward and really do something different with your team and with your clients. And now I'm ready for questions.
Oh man, thank you so much. That was phenomenal. There was some sound bites in there. Like I love that consistency feels like care, Keila. That was awesome. We already have some questions coming in. So let's go ahead and dive in. I know we have only a couple minutes. So Caitlin was asking about how you handle things that pop up, like a request for reports that are still in process of being closed for workers' comp audit or a loan app. And so how do you kind of deal with these like kind of pop-ups?
Yeah, quickly, I would say give them something that they can rely on. It might be a Google Sheet that always has the most up to date information. We send, for example, not exactly the same, but we send weekly emails to our fractional CFO clients to say, this is what we did. These are the outstanding things for you. And this is what's coming up next. So if you can build in a rhythm for how you're communicating with them and a system or a process that they can always reach out to empower themselves to say, yep, I see this isn't done yet, but there's a due date of Friday. I think you build a lot of trust with clients that way.
And I don't know if there's a question within your question, Caitlin, but how do you get clients to respond back to you? Is there a, what does that look like?
Yeah. So I think first you want to set the tone from the very beginning. You want to start with like, this is how we talk to you. We need this before we can move forward. I think sometimes clients don't know the difference between the things that we're asking for because I guess they think it's for fun for us and the things that are like, it is holding up the thing that I'm trying to do for you. So be really clear about, hey, this next step can't happen until you give me this. I also believe really heavily on closing the loop. So if they haven't
Mm-hmm.
given me what I need, at some point, I'm going to draw a line in the sand and say, hey, I never got this from you. I can't move forward. I'm putting this on pause. When you respond to me, I'll be able to do my next step. But usually that is enough for clients to say, oh, I didn't know you were going to stop work. I'll come back and do what you asked me.
I love it. Well said, Keila. How can our community connect with you, follow you, see more of your talks? What does that look like?
Yeah, so I'm probably most active on LinkedIn. So you can follow me, Keila Hill-Trawick there. Talk a lot about running the firm, building to enough, all the things that we try to do to make our clients and our team happy. We're also on Instagram at Little Fish Accounting. And if you search my name online, it's unique enough that you will probably find me somewhere, but I would love to be able to link up with a lot of you.
Awesome. And we will link up. We will follow up with all that information. It should be in the speaker bio as well, which D dropped into the chat. Really great feedback. Jess said this was the best talk yet. So there you go. You're the reigning champ. Congratulations. Look
Thank
forward
you.
to seeing you next week in person. And for everyone else that's hanging out for the rest of the day, Darren Root's talking next. Talk 5 characteristics of the simple firm. Let's make sure we drop in that Zoom link as we jump between room to room to room to room. So that's in the chat. If you ever need anything, events at jetpackworkflow.com. Keila, thanks again for hopping on.
Thank you so much. I'll see you all soon.
Bye.